So I quit my $6,000 a month job. Should you quit that draining job too? Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tammy. As you know, in today's video I'll be talking about why I quit my $6,000 a month job and basically talking about if you should also quit that draining job if you've got one as well. If you find this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and of course don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So let's dive straight into it. I have to be very honest with you. Quitting has to be one of the most difficult things out there in the world. And when I say difficult things, right, it's because I've actually seen the impact over the last few weeks since I actually did quit my job. So I knew that I wanted to quit this job even before I started the job, trust me. But I still feel like I'm not mentally prepared for it because I had a lot of fantastic colleagues. I really did meet a lot of amazing people. And every day I'm like, did I really want to quit? Does my decision actually make sense? And now I'm beginning to understand people who are addicted to stuffs like gambling, cigarettes, and a host of other things. Actually, I've been addicted to gambling before. And if you want me to talk about it in my next video, put it in the comment and I'll talk about it. Now I'm beginning to understand people that are stuck with toxic partners, with a toxic job, because it is actually hard to leave things that you've spent some time with. Let's just delve right into what I have for you today. Right? I quit my $6,000 a month job and it raised a lot of questions from family, friends, relatives. A lot of people have been asking me questions. Why do you want to quit? Why did you quit? Do you think this actually makes sense? Why not do it for 3 months more? Why not do it for 6 months more? And a host of other things. So I'll just give you a brief about the job. So I was working with one of the big telecommunication companies in Canada here, their marketing and sales department, right? And to be honest, I really did enjoy the job because over the years I've done marketing before I actually did get this job. I've done marketing solely online. So this is the first time I'm actually getting to do marketing, and I actually did talk to people over the phone, in person, and a host of other things, unlike before where it was always emails, social media, and a host of other things. So I actually did get like a real hands-on marketing experience, and I had a lot of fantastic colleagues, and to be honest, the pay was good as well. It was about $6,000 a month, and that gives me somewhere close to about 70-something thousand a year, right? So it really did make sense. But I just have to be honest with you. Before I started this job, I knew that I was going to quit. So before I moved to Canada, I used to do marketing online. I've been doing marketing online. I've worked at different jobs. And to be fair, this job happens to be one of the best I've actually done. And like I said, I really did enjoy it because it was also very, very flexible. But before I started the job, after I graduated school in June, I came back from the UK after a trip. And then I said I wanted to just get a job and actually get some hands-on Canadian experience, right? If you live in Canada or if you know anyone in Canada, you know that to get some things done in this part of the world, you actually need to understand how the people buy. And that's one of the things I've been trying to understand. And that's why I actually did take on that job, right? I got the job, started the job. It was a lot of fun, right? And I was progressing with it day in, day out. I was actually determined right from the day I took the job that I was only going to spend 3 months at that job. And once I'm done with my 3 months, I was going to get back to my online business, just like I'm making this YouTube video, right? I enjoy doing content online, just selling online basically. And to be honest, I enjoyed this way more than the job, and of course the flexibility. So I started the job even though I already knew that I was going to quit after 3 months, and I was going by. When the 3rd month was about to reach, I started rethinking my decision. I really want to quit this job. To be fair, I've gotten good pay from different jobs that I've done in the past, but most of those pay were small relative to what I was making myself online. They were really insignificant. This job, the pay was sort of matching what I was making online before I quit the job. So it made me think twice. When you do the business online, it's kind of uncertain, right? You could have good months, you could have bad months, you could have really good months, you could have really bad months. And with the job, I was guaranteed every month I was going to earn this certain amount, right? Which just made sense to me. Like, I knew that I could cover my bills, I could pay my rent, I wasn't going to go homeless, and a host of other things. But still, I still just said fuck it, and I did quit the job. And for you, should you actually also quit at draining job? Let's talk about it. See, my point of view to this thing is no one should honestly be made to keep a job that they don't enjoy for any reason whatsoever. Let's be honest. As a matter of fact, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you would most likely not even do your best at it. So what's the point getting paid when you're not going to do your very best at the job where you are at the moment? But let's even assume that you're actually trying your best and doing your best, even though the job is draining you. Should you still quit? Yes and a no. Let's talk about what you should actually do before quitting your job. And what I call this is actually drawing up an exit plan. So I know that a lot of my viewers watching this video would be from Nigeria, right? So if you live in a city like Lagos, Nigeria, you would find out that about 80% of of course that's a made up number, about 80% of the people who work in Lagos are drained every time. They complain about the traffic, they complain about the terrible pay, they complain about how even after like spending a lot of time at work, they barely have anything left, and they don't even have the freedom. And this also applies to Toronto here in Canada, right? You see a lot of people working in Toronto making a lot of money, but they are drained. They spend a lot of time commuting, they barely still have enough because the rent is expensive, and a host of other things, and people are constantly on the lookout to leave the job, but they are stuck. And why are they stuck? The bills don't stop. That's a punchline. So let's talk about drawing up an exit plan to leave your job. So I met this guy some days ago. He's actually a friend now. He's Canadian, right? And this guy used to be a mortgage banker. So he was a mortgage banker at the age of 22, and he did quit his job after 2 months. Sort of, we had a lot in common and we started talking about it. So when he was going to quit his job, the job was draining him so much, he wasn't enjoying it, and he decided to quit. And when he did quit the job, he knew what was in store for him. So he decided to take on a new hobby or job, because I had never heard about this job prior to meeting this guy, which is called tree planting. So this guy started doing what we call tree planting, and since he started tree planting, he said he's been the happiest guy in the world. Over the last 3 years, he's been able to travel the world and a host of other things. And that takes me to one point. Sometimes being happy at a job or being happy with what you're doing does not necessarily equate to you getting paid really well. Sometimes you really don't care about getting paid so much. You just want to have enough to eat, put something on the table, and you're good. For some people, for a host of other people that want to make all the money in the world, it's a different ball game. But for people who are actually contented with just earning enough, then they're pretty good just earning enough, doing what they enjoy doing. And that's someone like my friend, right? So let's talk about drawing up an exit plan. Firstly, for how long more do you think you can actually enjoy or endure this job you're doing? I know you never enjoyed it, so it's endure this job you're doing. Let's say it's for the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Do you think you can actually survive this job for 1 year more? Now, once you've put that into consideration and you've determined how long more you can be at this job, then you have to actually ask yourself a question. Why exactly are you quitting this job? See, I've met a lot of people who quit jobs without plans and they end up being miserable. You need to be sure about your why. Are you quitting because the pay is bad and you want a better pay? Are you quitting because of the bad work conditions? Are you quitting because of the stress? And are you quitting because it's just affecting your mental health? I know of this lady who currently has a job. She has not quit the job yet, but she's planning to quit the job, right? And the reason why she actually wants to quit the job is because she has to commute for about 2 hours a day to her workplace. The job pays really well, over $100,000 a year, but she really still doesn't care. She wants a job that would allow her spend more time with her kids, even if it means getting paid less. So why exactly are you quitting? You need to know why. And now, what are you planning to quit for? This is also a thing a lot of people struggle with. So are you planning to quit this job and retire? That's one thing. Some people will do that. Of course, if you're young like myself, why are you retiring? I'm not expecting that. Are you planning to quit this job and move on to another job entirely? Are you planning to quit this job and transition to a new field? So I've seen people who were maybe working as, let's say, bankers before, and they did quit their job so they could transition into tech. So if that's why you're quitting, you need to know. And also, are you quitting to start a business? For me, when I did quit my job, it was because I wanted to get back to doing business. Now, this is a bit different from starting a business, although it's as good as starting a business all over again, right? But it's a bit different, and we'll talk about that as we proceed. There are a few things you also need to have in order once you have decided to quit. Now you've decided that you can endure this job for 6 months, and you've decided that you're quitting this job because the pay is bad and you want to get a better paying job. Now you've decided to quit this job. What are the things you need to put into perspective? What are your options? That's the first thing you need to sit down and talk to yourself about. If you are quitting the job without options, then you're setting yourself up for misery. Sit down, talk to yourself, and be like, okay, what exactly are my options? How do I intend to feed? How do I intend to cater for my family? What exactly would happen to me when I quit this job? What happens? For some people, they have supportive partners that would help them through their phase while they transition into something else. For some other people, they have to always be there. And as a matter of fact, this is why a lot of people actually remain stuck at their jobs, because they have to keep providing. So what are your options? My friend did quit his job, let's say about 6 months ago, and while he was quitting this job, he knew that he wanted to transition into a more professional role, which he was clear about. And you also have to be clear about what you're doing, which I've talked about earlier. He was going to transition to a more professional role and get a better paying job. He quit his job, and then he didn't have a job for almost 4 months. Over 3 months, he was jobless. But what are the things he had put in place? The first thing is he had his finances sorted. And this means you sacrificing things just before you quit your job. So you want to save up as much money as you can while you are still at that job. So you want to save up as much money that would last you for, let's say, the next 3 to 6 months. Preferably, I like to save for up to 6 months. So right now, as I've quit my job, if I sit down at home and do nothing for 6 months, I'll be good. Can you also do that? You need to have your finances sorted. So he did quit his job and had his rent for about 3 months. So feeding and a few things also covered. That's one part sorted. Now, the other thing you want to put in place is upskilling. And this applies mainly to people who are looking to get a higher paying job. You need to upskill to get a higher paying job. That's one thing. This is also for people who are looking to transition to different roles entirely. So if you're looking to switch from, let's say, banking to tech, then you need to learn new skills. If you're looking to switch from, let's say, marketing to something else, you basically need to learn skills. And when it comes to upskilling, I always recommend that you take courses. Courses would save you a lot of time when you decide to upskill. And another thing you can do during this time is you want to actually set up something you can do on the side while you transition to your new phase. See, as much as you're looking to transition, the fact that you've been earning money all your life and you want to go to that phase without any money can also affect you mentally. What I always tell guys is put something on the side that can keep you going while you transition, even if it's something little. So for my friend, for example, he was doing Uber while he was waiting to transition. To be honest, he wasn't really making a lot of money doing Uber. It was just making like a few $100 or maybe even less than $1,000 a month while he was transitioning. But it just gave him that sense of, oh, okay, at least I make some money, right? So that also helps you going. There's this thing I always say, especially when it comes to leaving jobs and transitioning into new things. If you are unhappy about any state of your life, about where you are today, there is only one way to change it, and that way is leaving what you're currently doing. Of course, you need to make a plan for that. Leaving what you're currently doing and leaving everything aside, focusing on a new thing for the next 6 to 12 months. Focus on it for 10 to 12 hours every day for the next 6 to 12 months, and I can guarantee your life will change. So if you're looking to switch from banking to tech, start coding, learning coding every single day for the next 6 months for 10 to 12 hours, and I would guarantee you that you would become a very good coder or software developer or whatever it is. And this applies to technically everything. So let's talk about if you're looking to actually quit your job to start a business, which applies to me and would also apply to a lot of people. So if you're looking to quit your job to start a business, now that is one of the most uncertain things. It is quite uncertain to find a job as well, trust me. But getting into a business is more uncertain because, one, business needs finances to even survive. Do you have the capital to go into the business you want to try out? That's one thing you want to sort, right? Another thing is, if you're looking to do a business without a lot of capital, right? Like I said, how long can you survive without some income? And what I always advise for people who are looking to quit their draining job for a business is this: start building your business as a side hustle. So let's say you want to start a business called information marketing, and you're at your job for the next 6 months. Simply start creating your information product or selling it. It will take you maybe like 2 to 3 hours a day when you get back from work. And once you have things running, now you can quit your job. Don't just quit your job for a business you heard about. Like, oh, I heard they make a lot of money doing e-commerce. I heard they make a lot of money doing drop shipping. And then you quit your job for that. You're going to suffer. And at the end, you would end up going back to that miserable job that you don't like. So if you're leaving your job to start a business, please ensure that you build the business on the side while you keep your job until you think you are at the right place to actually quit the job and the business has started getting some traction and you've actually gotten a hang of it. Because business in itself requires a lot of mental stability, it requires a lot of dedication, and it is draining in itself. You don't want to be drained emotionally, psychologically, and still be drained financially because the business might not pay off as fast as you think it would pay off. So, should you quit your job too? Depends on you and where you are right now. So if you have some money saved up already and you've gotten some clarity on what you want to do next, go ahead and quit that job right now. You shouldn't be doing that thing that makes you unhappy every day. But if you think you're not yet there but you're really drained, now draw up your plan. Start drawing up your exit strategy and upskilling yourself. Save up some funds for the emergency, which is the next 3 to 6 months while you transition into the new thing you want to do. And trust me, you'll be happy, you'll be glad you did. It is hard to leave that toxic job just like it is hard to leave that toxic relationship. You need to be intentional about quitting your job, and if you don't make intentional plans, you would get stuck forever. So, you want to quit your job? Go ahead. Make the plan, quit it, and I'm rooting for you. If you enjoyed this video, do like, subscribe, comment, and if you think it would be helpful to someone out there drained with their little paying job, then you want to share the video with them, right? Let them also get the courage they need to quit that job this year. Before the end of 2024, you shouldn't be doing that job that makes you unhappy anymore. If at all you have to still do a job, if you're not quitting for a business, be happy at your job. Be happy to leave your home, going to work in the morning, right? So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment under this video, and I'll be making more videos like this for you. See you in the next video. Bye.